Hey guys, I wanted to bring you out today and show you my food plot. So if you've been watching the channel or keeping up with anything I do, you probably saw a video a year and a half or so ago where I was camping in my truck, actually in this exact spot, and I had just bought the farm that I grew up on in West Virginia. I had an opportunity to buy it, had to jump on it. All last year, I was doing everything I could as quickly as I could to kind of get it back into shape. It hadn't really had much care. Got some little fall food plots in, nothing major, just some brassica, some rye, clover, you know, the basic stuff, and it worked. Wound up killing a beautiful mature buck that I've been watching, well, from the year that I bought the farm. I hung trail cameras and saw they made it through season, so I knew he was going to, or through the previous rifle season, knew he was going to be my target buck, and wound up killing him. Beautiful buck, super happy. This year I'm going all out, trying to plant a big variety of different types of food plots in different areas of the farm, and my thought process there is figure out what grows well, or what I can grow well, what the deer like, when they're going to be targeting various different things, and where on the farm it grows better. You know, one area might grow corn better than the other area. Spent a ton of time last year after deer season, and then this year liming the fields. You know, spread 10 tons of lime. That was a nightmare. I thought I could do it in a fertilizer spreader, 3-point spreader on the back of the tractor. Huge fail. The lime was wet, just clumped together into a mud. Wound up just shaking it all out with the bucket on the tractor. So anyway, I started planting about a month ago, month and 5 days, something like that. It's a 35-day mark. Planted corn and soybeans. Then I've come through since then, and I've planted a few other different things. Like behind me is hybrid Milo and sugar beets. You know, some areas of the fields and the farm I planted screening. So I've got a couple different types of screening. I tried Northwoods Whitetails HD screening in some areas. Other areas got the Domain Incognito, and then other areas I planted switchgrass for that long-term screening / maybe bedding. Depends on how thick it comes in, I guess. But I wanted to break up the field. You know, one thing I noticed hunting last year, and I kind of knew it was going to happen, was deer were going to come into this big open field with, you know, really low brassicas and clover and things like that. Bucks would come in during the rut or pre-rut and stand here, look over the field, in 2 seconds see that there wasn't a doe, and skirt the wood line and wouldn't get a chance. So trying to change that this year, make it a little more difficult for them to see, make them have to come in and explore and see what's actually out here, and hopefully come within bow range. So I'm going to take you around. I'm going to show you a few of the plots and just kind of where they are at this point, if they're doing well, if they're a disappointment, if I made a mistake. You know, I know a couple mistakes that I made are very obvious at this point. You know, this year's definitely a learning experience for me, and figuring out what I can do, what I need to change, what works, what doesn't. So this field was the Northwoods Whitetail hybrid Milo, and kind of disappointed so far. This was planted 35 days ago. I tilled the area with my tractor, broadcast seeded it, drug it in with a chain harrow, and then went back over top and spread Domain sugar beets, and then rolled it in with a cultipacker. Went over it with Dual 2 Magnum pre-emergent spray, and You've got areas that it's growing really well. It's a foot and a half tall in some areas, and then other areas it's still stunted and spindly. The coverage when I broadcasted it was really even, but what's growing here, is pretty spotty. The other thing I've noticed is I've got some sugar beets that are actually growing kind of in the middle, but almost no sugar beets around the perimeter of this field. So I'm not entirely sure what I did wrong here. The other thing that kind of surprised me, even with the dual Magnum or dual 2 Magnum, I've got a lot of horse nettle growing up. I saw a couple tiny little Indian hemp weeds growing up, but there's a lot of horse nettle in here, which it wasn't prevalent in this field before. So I guess lime and fertilizer and a nitrogen boost is what it needed to really come back. But we're 35 days from when I planted this, and it's nice and tall and looks big here, but then you get down some of the other ends of the field here, and it's tiny. I mean, it's a couple inches at best. So I'm not sure why there's such a drastic difference here, and why the sugar beets only grew kind of over there. I did soil test all this, applied lime and fertilizer as it called for. So anyway, on to the next one. So this field is my bread and butter right now. This field makes it look like I actually know what I'm doing. So this was Eagle Seeds Green and Gold South. I'm in central West Virginia, so from the map it looked like the south was where I needed to be. This jumped up super fast. I came up here 5 days after I planted and looked at it, and the soybeans were already emerging, and you could see two little leaves on them. The corn was a little later, but it is phenomenal looking. You'll see the other field. I planted some silage corn. It's 104-day corn, I think, that I planted in the other fields. It's nowhere near this corn. I mean, these stalks are beefy. They're thick, they're stout. The soybeans look great. The deer have been in here a little bit. You can see I do have it fenced off. You can't keep them out all the time, but it's definitely been deterring them. And it looks great. I'm excited to see the final result on this, but I think this is going to be a big draw this fall. As far as planting this, I tilled the area with the tractor. Of course, I had sprayed beforehand, and I had ryegrass and crimson clover in here last fall, but sprayed it, tilled it, and broadcast seeded everything, drug it in with the chain harrow, and I did not cultipack this because soybeans, they don't like a crust over top of them or getting packed in too tight. So looks like this one I actually did right. So super excited to see how it turns out. So this strip around the edge of this field, it goes down and around and over and down around the other side. This was Northwoods Whitetail, John Comp's HD screening, and I had sprayed it. I came through and tilled it, let stuff start to grow up a little bit, sprayed it again, and broadcasted it in, fertilized it really well, a lot of nitrogen, and then I drug it in with a chain harrow, and then sprayed it with simazine as well for a pre-emergent. And it's actually growing in pretty good. This is 2 weeks old. Yeah, you can see the little ones growing up. They kind of look like little ears of corn growing up right now, but hopefully it comes in, makes a nice barrier so that once the leaves are off these trees behind me, deer can't stand up on top of the hill, look down through the woods, scan the whole field, and not even come out where I can see them. So far so good with this one. The Northwoods Whitetail blend looks like it's doing pretty well. So this plot is one that I'm kind of concerned and excited about. This was going to be my no-till plot. I did disc it up last fall, and had some brassica growing here. It didn't do very well. We were in a insanely bad drought. But this year I tried to kind of do the Whitetail Habitat Solutions no-till method, and I don't think I've done a very good job. So I had rye in here, a real nice stand of rye, and I came through about a month ago, and I ran the rye down with a cultipacker. Well, first I broadcast buckwheat through the whole thing, and ran the rye down with a cultipacker, sprayed it with glyphosate, and I got a really good kill on the rye. It did stand back up. The cultipacker just wasn't the tool for the job on rye. But the buckwheat started to germinate fairly early, but it's growing really slow. The other thing is the clover. The glyphosate didn't touch the clover, which is probably a good thing if you've got clover you want to keep, but I wanted a good kill on this, and the clover is holding in strong. But the buckwheat, you got clover here, and you got your buckwheat coming in beside it here, and that's about 8 inches tall. When I spread my hand out all the way, it's about 9.5 inches. So yeah, probably 7.5, 8 inches tall. There's a couple that are a little taller. Now that I'm looking at it from this angle, being down low, it does look like it's coming in better than I thought it was. I expected it to grow a little faster, especially to help suppress weeds and things like that, smother stuff out. First time I've ever planted buckwheat, so I really don't know what to expect. This rye is just as brittle as it gets. I'm not worried about anything there. Glyphosate killed it really well. As you can see, I've planted a bunch of trees too. I've got a combination of trees from Morse Nursery and Whitetail Hill chestnuts. Overall, they're doing great. The persimmon trees, they didn't do very well. They were from Morse. I think 2 of them finally budded out. The chestnut trees from Whitetail Hill, they've exploded. I mean, you can see through the tree tube there. They've filled up the tree tube, and they were just tiny little twigs when I got them. I didn't think there was much hope that they'd do anything. Also have some crabapple, some other apple from Whitetail Hill. I can't remember what it's called right now. A couple different types of chestnuts, different types of persimmons, and then over there's some taller trees that I planted there, just the Tractor Supply special pear trees and apple trees. I wanted to see how they'd do, and they actually are doing awesome. We'll see if they stay that way, but I was really surprised, especially for $40 a tree, which is half the price of buying it at a nursery or something like that, and these trees were 8 foot, 10 foot tall when I got them, so that was nice that have a nice head start on things. Anyway, time to go check out another spot. So this little plot here, and I'll pan around. It's bigger than what you can see. This is my little kill plot. So it's back in the woods, probably about 300 yards away from the fields that we were in. Bedding is on the other side, so everything comes through here, or it's one of the routes they come through. There's a little bit of a clearing here. It was a little thin, so I dropped some trees, hinge cut a few trees just to make it not as wide open, because it was pretty wide open as far as being able to see through the woods, but got some sunlight onto the ground. I tried to plant it last year, throw and grow method. It sucked. I had like 2 little clovers in the whole area after a whole day of raking and doing everything I thought would work. So this year, limed it real good in the winter, then came back and tilled it up with the tractor, broadcasted it, and ran it in with the cultipacker. So this is Northwoods Whitetail Seclusion 3D, or 360. I'm struggling today, sorry guys. So it's a blend of clover and chicory. Both of them are the forage style, which, in food plotting you see forage. That should mean that if the deer nip it off, it's gonna keep growing back. So hopefully that's the case. I've already got a bunch of trail cam pictures of deer in here nibbling, playing around, little fawns playing around in it. But it's coming in really good. I'm excited to see it. There's a few thin spots. I may come back and overseed maybe today, because we're going to get a pretty good rain tomorrow, and see if we can fill in some of these spots. But all right, so as you can see, we've got nice thick green carpet starting. Mostly the chicory has come in. I don't see a whole lot of clover yet, but the clover is usually a little slower. But it kind of meanders down through there, and a little shootout over there, and then up here by my salt lick, kind of stops before it gets up there. But yeah, this is turning out pretty nice. It's shady over here right now, but we're right at noon. The entire afternoon that's getting good sun. So this little plot down here was kind of just an experiment. It's close to a highway. I didn't know if I'd ever hunt it. There are a ton of deer go through here, but there's not a good way to get in and hunt it, at least in the morning, without bumping out deer, either getting to it or that may be hanging out here. So I didn't want to just leave a kind of a fallow field. I wanted to see what I could do with it and how the soil was. I didn't soil test this one. This is the only part of the farm I didn't. So for here, I planted Domain's Overhaul. I wanted to see kind of what it did, and figured it was a safe bet for soil that likely wasn't that good. There's a lot of pine trees around me. Years and years ago, my grandfather had a Christmas tree farm here, and these are trees that grew up that never got sold for Christmas trees, I guess. So anyway, I'm super excited with the way this Domain Overhaul is coming in. I mean, it is just as green as can be where I planted it. You've got some buckwheat, you've got clover. I'm pretty sure it's crimson clover, if I remember right. There's some triticale or triticale, I'm not sure how you say that. which is a grain, and then some real nice radishes coming in. But it greened up super fast. I mean, this is a month old, but it germinated in no time at all. Just for fun, I put in a little bit of corn. This is a silage corn, 110 day, I think, maybe 104 day, no, 110. And it came in amazing. I wish I would have planted this whole thing in it. It's looking better than the corn that I specifically planted as cornfields. Some real heavy stalks on it, and I did fertilize this, but not to any proper method. I did throw some nitrogen or some 4600 down through here where the corn would be, and I can't believe how good it's coming in. The other thing that's killing me is the deer have not touched this, and there's nothing stopping the deer from nibbling this corn. The other corn fields that I have planted, the deer are absolutely hammering it, and I've got electric fences around all but one. The one that doesn't have a fence around is just getting wiped out. I'm going to put a fence around it today. Up at the top of this field, I did plant some Domain Hot Chic, and it's not a representation of what to expect. So I was in here tooling around on my tractor this winter, fixing where the little creek had blown out and was running down through, and I made a huge mess. No cover on it. Wanted to get something growing, so I just frost seeded it. That was the end of February. Just came in with Domain Hot Chic and threw it down, and this whole area I put Domain Hot Chic, and it came in really well. It's also chicory and clover, and there's always been stilt grass here, and deer's tongue, and it's definitely come back in. But I mean, you got a ton of chicory here, ton of clover. You've got the stilt grass, of course, which I guess I could spray that with clethodim and get rid of it, but I'm not all that worried. I just wanted to kind of fill in these bare muddy spots I had left. But for just coming through and frost seeding, it's growing really well. One thing I've noticed is there's not much deer browse on it. I figured they'd be after the chicory. I don't know if the chicory needs to mature or if it needs to frost on it, or who knows. But the deer haven't really touched it. At the same time, they haven't really touched the clover, so maybe there's plenty of other food sources and they don't need to. But it turned out surprisingly well. I had no or low expectations, but I'm not mad about it. All right, so down where we're at now, it's down around some houses and the road frontage of the property and by my camp. The reason I planted this, I just wanted to get as much food on the property as I could, but B, this is the lowest part of the field or the property. The place that I usually hunt is like the mid-tier, and then up on the very top of the hills, just all wooded. And what I wanted to do with this was have food down here where deer could eat at night. There's a bunch of big mature chestnut trees, apple trees. I wanted some more food so that if the deer are down here, I can sneak around them and get into my stand in the morning in those food plots further up the hill without disturbing them. Apparently the theory works, because that's what I did last year when I killed the big buck that I did. He was actually down here. I saw after the fact trail cam pictures. He was down here that morning. I snuck out of camp, was real quiet getting up on the hill, and it was like 1 minute after legal shooting time that he came through the food plot I was hunting over on his way back to his bed, and I was able to shoot him. So as far as this goes, I did row corn here. I used an Earthway push seeder. It did a pretty good job. The seed plate that came with it was really wanting to double up the corn, and each turn. I thought it was going to look terrible, but there's actually some really good spacing in the corn, so I think that's going to turn out really well. Down below, down here, that was kind of a swamp. I tried to plant it, I broadcasted it. I didn't think it was even going to grow because it started raining on me in the middle of it. It was a disaster. I didn't fence it off, and the corn actually grew and the deer are hammering it, so I'm going to fence it off. This up here is more Eagle Seeds soybeans. I can't remember the exact style or blend or whatever you want to call it. And this is a place that I definitely made a mistake. So I've got them here, and then this little strip down here was also soybeans, and I tried to till them in instead of dragging them in, and you can see there's areas that I'm pretty sure I got them way too deep and they never got up out of the ground. But there's other areas where they came in really good. So I'm probably gonna overseed this lower part with something, just so I don't have too much bare ground, and to give them more stuff to eat. But the beans that I put in correctly, they're growing really well. I'm really happy with them. Eagle Seeds are pretty expensive, but they seem to be doing the trick. Just as a comparison, I did get some Mossy Oak Biologic soybeans and planted them in a little test plot on my hunting lease, and we'll see how they do. And you know, all the soybeans I've planted are forage soybeans. So once the deer are in here munching on it, you know, once I take the electric fences down, you know, they should keep growing back and hopefully produce even more pods from getting nipped off. So anyway, that's it. Other than some screening along the road frontage with Domains Incognito, which it's coming up about the same right now as the HD screening. Planted it, you know, same way, and we'll see in a couple months which one's better there. So anyway, thanks. And one last thing, it wouldn't be a YouTube video without the obligatory please like and subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me. I've put out random videos. It's more I go back and watch them, my mom watches them, you know, stuff like that. But I like other people getting to watch it. Maybe you learn something, learn from my mistakes, learn something new. Maybe you're just bored on the couch and need something to watch. I've been told that my voice makes for good ASMR, so maybe that's all you get out of it. But like and subscribe, I appreciate it. You guys have a good one.